Good morning. This is a gentle stretch and twist, just under 15 minutes. So begin lying down on your mat. Just scan your body. Notice where any tension is. Maybe if anything is uneven. Bring your awareness to your breath. Then you're going to raise your right leg. Bring your knee into your chest. If that's too much, just put your hands behind your thigh. Keep your left leg down on the mat. It's not too active, we're just gently stretching. You might have just woken up. I have. So gently pull, breathe into your hip. I know I have tension in my hip joint. And then bring your right leg over to your left side. And put your right arm out. And look at your right hand. Try and keep your right arm completely perpendicular to your body. So keep your left leg down and your right knee's gone all the way over to the other side. There should be a nice stretch in your hip and in your side body and in your glute especially. Gradually, if you breathe into it, your knee might come down to the ground. Your foot can just fall to the ground. And looking over to your right. Come back to center and lower your leg. And just notice the difference, how your two sides feel different after that simple stretch. And I'll do the other side. So lift your left leg. Bring it up towards your chest, holding behind the thigh or over the knee. Breathing into any tension. As you exhale, it should release. And now move your left leg over to your right side of your body, all the way over your body. Let that hip lift off the ground. And put your left arm out, perpendicular to the mat, looking over at your left hand to get a twist all the way up the spine. Breathe into where the tension is being held. Should be able to drop a bit lower into the posture with each outward breath. It's a nice way to wake up the body. You can do that in bed when you wake up in the morning. Hug your knee once more and lower it to the ground. We're going to do a very gentle back bend to wake up the spine. So bring your knees up, not necessarily as high as your buttocks, just in close, and gently lift your hips, keeping your arms down, pointing towards your feet, and on an exhale, lower. Again, breathing in, lift your hips, just gently, and breathing out, lower down. This time we're going to go a bit further. Breathe in, lift your hips, raise your right arm straight over your head to the floor behind, and then your left arm. And then come down, bring your right arm back, trying to keep your body straight, slightly engaging now, should be waking up. And then lower your bottom down. Hug your knees into the chest, you can rock a little bit side to side, and then back and forward. We're going to come to sitting. And now we're going to come to tabletop. So your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. We're going to do cat-cow. So breathing in, round your back, lift your shoulder blades up towards the sky, and then breathing out, arch your back, sinking your belly down, looking up. So breathing in, round between your shoulders, hollow back, and breathing in, cat. So looking up, arch your back. Sorry, that was breathing out. Breathing in, cow, rounding your shoulders, looking down. Two more times. Just warming up the spine. We've done a twist. Now we're just warming up the vertebrae. Now come to a neutral spine. And we're going to just warm up our wrists and our shoulders. So in a circular motion, just move your body round. You'll be moving from your knees as well. Actually, you can drive from your hips. And just go as far as feels comfortable. And then you're going clockwise and then anti-clockwise. And then if you want a bit more of a stretch, point your fingers outwards. So move your hands a bit wider and point them outwards. It's just a bit stronger on your wrists. It's nice to warm up your wrists. So again, clockwise and counterclockwise, or anti-clockwise. Just do whatever feels good. And putting your hands back to how they were, so under the shoulders, pointing forward. You're going to rise your right leg back. So you want to try and keep a straight line with your body and your right leg. And then your left arm, if you can, if you want to, shoot that out forward. So actually you've just got one hand and one knee on the ground. You should be engaging your stomach muscles here, engaging your core. Make sure you're breathing. Try and keep your hips level. You can flex your back foot and then bring it back down. And now we'll do the other side. So lift your left leg out, shoot it back, and your right arm forward. Try and keep your hips level. There's a little bit of a balance here as well, so there's strength and balance in this. And flex your foot and bring it back in. You can do this as many times as you like. We're just doing it once here this morning. And then open your knees a little bit and sit back onto your heels. This is child's pose, but keep your arms pointing forward and drop your head. This is just a recovery posture, a bit relaxing. Breathing all the time. Come forward and set your tabletop again. So you lift your right arm straight up to the sky, and as you exhale, thread it underneath your left arm. Get your shoulder to the ground. And you can move your left hand a bit forward so that you can really get right down onto your shoulder and stretch. So it's a nice twist. You should be able to get your right ear to the ground. And come back up to tabletop, and we'll do the other side. So lifting your left arm up, threading it underneath your right, hand facing up, and if you want to slip your right hand forward a bit so that you can be more comfortable, get your left ear to the mat. Just breathe here, enjoy the twist. All these postures you can hold for longer than this, and you'll gain even more benefit. You could pause it. So lift your hips up into downward facing dog. First one of the day. Walk your knees just to stretch your hamstrings. Bend them if you need to. Get your back straight. Drop your head. Make sure there's no tension in your neck. And then walk forward and gradually come to standing. Now we're going to do Trikonasana, which is triangle pose. We talked about it a little bit. Bring your feet leg distance apart and turn your right foot out and your left foot in just 45 degrees. Arms parallel to the floor. Reach forward to the right as far as you can go, and then you're going to keep your arms as they are in a straight line and tilt down to the right. You want a nice stretch on your left side. It's very important that you imagine that you've got your back against a wall and your legs. So if your left hip is collapsed forward, then you need to lift, come up a bit higher. And that's already going to the other side, but you could hold that longer. So swap your feet round, reach out to the left side, and pivot down. So you want a nice stretch. You want to keep yourself as though you've got your back against a wall. Open your chest, look up to your right hand if you can, not to worry if you can't. Your left hand could be at your knee, that's fine, as long as you keep your plane and not tip forward with your hip. Look down at your hand before coming up. Now we're going to do a twisted one. So turn your feet round. So your left foot is now pointing. You want your hips pointing, well, you see where my bookcase is, your hips pointing completely that way to the front of the mat. Come forward with your right hand. You can get your left hand behind your back. That's all of the twist you need. Right hand to your left knee is fine, just to give yourself a twist. And if you can lift your left arm up, what you're aiming for is to get your right hand down on the ground to the outside of your left foot and your left arm up. Look up at your left hand. Looking down before you come up, square the hips, and we'll go to the other side. So this is now your left foot pointing to the end of the mat and your right foot just come 45 degrees, hips pointing completely the other way. Reach forward with your left hand and put it onto your right knee, or if you can get lower, eventually you want it on the outside of your right foot, lifting your right arm and looking up at your right hand eventually, or just have your right arm behind your back. That was a bit wobbly for me. Come back. You could hold those for longer actually. Now, right hand, this is a bit of a twist, right arm under your left arm, so you want your elbows lined up. If you can get your hands together as though you're in a clap, great. And to make it even more challenging, if you want, get your right leg over your left leg, sort of crossing your legs. Tuck it all the way around with your toe if you can, and lower, so you're sitting down and you're lifting up your elbows. This is called the eagle. Very hard to find something to look at that's stable. You probably should hold that longer. And the other side. So you're going to put your left arm underneath your right arm, elbows on top of each other, hands clapped together. Lift up your elbows. And if you want to, put your left leg over your right leg, so you're crossing your legs. And if you can get it all the way around behind your shin, crouch down, so you're bending. You're going down in your hips and up with your elbows. Find something stable to look at. And undo your legs first, and then gently undo your arms. Take more time on that one, I think. And to finish, just come to a seated posture. Hands on your knees. And just take 10 breaths here before you start your day.